What's going on, everybody? John with ACTION-FLIX.com coming at you with Trailer Tactical. We're going Trailer Tactical tonight. That's my new name for my trailer reaction section of my ACTION-FLIX podcast. I called it Trailer Talk at one time, and I was like, you know what? That's boring, and I'm going to change it. So I'm always doing like a military theme. I always say jock up, tack up, stuff like this. So I was like, Trailer Tactical. That sounds kind of nice. So, and a lot of people have told me, yes, I like it. So there you go. So Trailer Tactical, we are going live tonight. We are on Facebook and YouTube, and we are going to be talking. You saw it at the beginning. Yes, you did. You saw it at the very beginning when the music was blaring. We are talking about Scott Adkins in Take Cover. This is his new action thriller that is coming in October. Yes. So here's the thing. Okay. So before we get started, though, you might wonder why I'm wearing this on my head. I'm wearing a Cobra Kai bandana. I actually got this in New York Comic Con way back when Cobra Kai was starting. Ralph Macchio and William Zabka were doing publicity for the new Cobra Kai Karate Kid series, and they came to New York Comic Con, and I was going to New York Comic Con at the time. I believe I went to 3 or 4 of them, and they handed these out for the people that made the panel, and I got to meet Ralph Macchio and William Zabka. Pretty cool. It's on YouTube. It's kind of blurry, unfortunately. The video is not that great, but it is what it is. But I got to talk to them and tell them what they meant to me, and the whole Karate Kid thing. And I got to ask William Zabka the question of Shoot Fighter. So I was like, everybody's going to be talking about the Karate Kid and Cobra Kai. I'm like, I'm going to talk about Shoot Fighter. And William was blown away. He was like, oh, man. He's like, and then he proceeded to make fun of it, in good fun. In good fun. And he talked about the great Bolo Young, who he worked with, and the great story of how Bolo didn't speak any English throughout the whole production. And then, like, at the end of it, he started talking English to William Zabka. He was like, you knew English all along. So, yeah. So here's the reason why I am wearing this. We all know that James Earl Jones, the great, iconic, now legendary, as you can say, because he unfortunately passed away. We all know him as the voice of Darth Vader. At least that's the thing that I'll always gravitate towards. And Mufasa, from The Lion King, he was in Best of the Best, which is a revered movie in the genre of action, but he's done so many other things, countless movies and television. Sadly passed away, but we also lost another action person in the late great Chad McQueen. That's right, yes, Chad McQueen unfortunately passed away a couple days ago. We all know Chad, who is the son of legendary Steve McQueen, the Hollywood icon and legend. Steve McQueen never rose to the prominence that his father did, but still had a solid career. He was able to make a lot of movies and do TV work and stuff like that. And of course, we all know him as Dutch from the original Karate Kid. Sadly, he did not get to reprise that role in the Cobra Kai series as a lot of people thought he was going to. And there was even rumors that he was going to do it in the last and final season that is now showing on Netflix, so he unfortunately passed away a couple days ago. Evidently, it was organ failure, and he was in an accident a couple years ago. This was reported by TMZ. They're the ones that broke it, and they said that it was organ failure due to an accident that we got. We got Wolverine 626 popping in. Thank you for joining me, Wolverine. Yes, he says rest in peace, Chad McQueen. First thing I remember seeing him in was the movie called Redline. Yes, there you go. Look at that. one of the lesser known movies, but he's done so much more. And I'm going to scroll down here. There's a great picture as I start choking again of Chad. Earlier picture, he was a little older looking when he passed away. He was in his 60s, but he done, of course, martial law. He starred with Gary Daniels, the great Gary Daniels, in the PM Entertainment, Firepower, and of course Death Ring, where he starred alongside Chuck Norris's son Mike, as well as Patrick Swayze's brother Don Swayze, and of course the late great Billy Drago played the bad guy in that movie as well. I just put these ones down because they were ones that I was that I gravitated towards. Of course, martial law is probably his biggest one in regards to action cinema. So yeah, so unfortunately, and I was talking to my friend Owen Frill, who runs the Action League, because I had texted him when I found out the news, and I wrote this article about it. I didn't write an article for James Earl Jones. A couple people asked me why, and I'm like, because James Earl Jones. I mean, I shared the picture of him standing next to his Darth Vader persona, and I just simply said his voice could silence a room. His persona was larger than life. He didn't need an art. I just need, you know what I'm saying? It's like it was James Earl Jones, for God's sakes. So yeah. So I mean, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I don't really like gravitate towards death, but like most people don't. I really don't handle it well. And plus it gets it. And I was talking to Owen, and we were talking about how it sucks that we're getting older and all of our heroes are dying, and of course, Chad McQueen, so prominent, in the 80s and 90s and throughout, had a great race car driving career as well. Studied martial arts under Chuck Norris. That's where you learn the martial arts. Of course, he utilized those skills, of course, in martial law, as well as um, firepower. And I actually shared this. This is the clip from martial law. This is the beginning. And I know this is trailer tactical, and we're talking about Scott Adkins, but let's just watch Chad kick some ass at the beginning of the great indie actioner martial law.
Pizza's here. I'm gonna send it in with an officer.
No. You don't send in no cop. You send in the kid.
Okay, you can go in, son. It's all right. Go on.
I like it. Domino's Pizza. You gotta love it. It's all right, son. You go in. Other than it's so cool. And of course, he does a lot of fight scenes in this movie. I just picked this one because this was the first one in the movie. This is the opening. He's going in.
Check him out.
Undercover. He's a cop, of course. Martial law. He's known as. He's karate to apprehend felons.
It's clear.
Put him down and beat it, kid.
I got him here in 30 minutes.
I love that line. Great line.
Oh, holy!
I love this actor. By
This
the way,
guy's a fucking beauty.
I love when he shouts, "I demand decorum." Best line ever.
Oh, you want to be paid,
this
huh?
is something every fella says when
Well,
they're doing it.
Go ahead, pay him, Lance.
I surrender. It's like not a piece of delivery. He had great moves, man. I gotta tell you, nothing like extreme or anything. Nothing like you see nowadays, like extreme martial arts. Just solid spinning hooks, roundhouses, kick to the face. Gotta love it. Yeah. So there you go. I just wanted to mention that at the beginning here again, because such a fan, such a great guy, and again, it's hard, I don't know, but like when your father is so iconic, it's hard to like come out of the light or the shadow of your father or mother. But I think he did a pretty good job. Yeah. So there you go. What can I say? But rest in power, Chad. And we love you. We loved you now. Then we love you now. We'll love you forever. We'll watch your movies. And there you go. I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned that at the very beginning here. On Trailer Tactical. Okay, so we have a few more comments from Mr. Wolverine. He says he mentioned that he looked like his father. Yes, he did. The martial art movies in which McQueen was in part one with Rock needs to be put back. Yeah, Vinegar Syndrome did the combo, and it has since gone out of print. And then you go on eBay, and it's like $200. It's like people are charging. It's like, you know what, a-holes. It's like you don't have to charge like $200. listen, I mean, come on. I'm like, I could see like 50, 60, $70. I mean, because it's rare, you know, they only made so many and stuff like that. But yeah, it's like, holy cow, whatever. What are you going to do? All right, well, let's get started, though. So let's talk about what we're here to talk about. So we're going to jock up here with the great Mr. Schwarzenegger. There you go. And boom. There you go. The greatest handshake felt around the world. Of course, this means something tonight because we're doing a little kung fu fighting with Scott. There you go. That's from One More Shots. Yes. So let's get it going here. All right. So a couple of things I'm going to mention before I show the trailer. I've seen the trailer. So yeah. And of course, I think I've seen it. Like, I saw it this morning because Scott shared it on his Patreon account. He has an official Patreon page, and he did it there first, and that's where I saw it first. So I was like, "Ooh!" I'm like, "What is this?" So I shared it then, but then I got the official email from the PR people, and I was like, "Oh, even better!" I was like, "I got the poster, and I got the official synopsis that they're using, and now I'm also going to show some images." Well, actually, you saw them at the beginning, but those are never before seen images from the movie that were shared to us action bloggers from the PR people that are putting the movie out. Will they do interviews? I don't know. Are you listening? All right. Anyways, yeah. So I'm going to show those again and show some exclusive. Well, they're not exclusive to just me, but they are exclusive in the sense that they have not been shown yet. I mean, the first one, this one right here, was released a while back, which shows Scott, who plays a sniper, taking aim. And then this one was also used a while back with him holding the shotgun. So, and then this one too is behind the scenes. That's Nick McKinless. He's the one that directed the movie. He's another stuntman turned filmmaker. So, watching the trailer, I was like, you know, it goes on because I've always mentioned how action movies directed by stuntmen or women, as the case may be, know how to do it, know how to shoot the action. They know how to, you know, film it, edit it, show it for the fans, and Nick looks like he's got a future, judging from this trailer. Of course, I've only seen the trailer, but I will see the movie because they've offered, you know, reviews, screeners, and stuff like that. So I am going to definitely check it out. Couple things here also before I get started with the trailer. I can officially announce we got Hounds of War coming out next week on Friday, the 20th. Which stars Frank Grillo, Rona Mitra, and Robert Patrick, the great Robert Patrick, directed by the action maestro himself, Isaac Florentine. We all know Isaac, you know, who's directed Scott. This relates to Scott. Of course, he did the Undisputed movies. He brought Boyka to the screen for all the masses, and of course, he did Ninja 1 and Ninja 2 with Scott. So I was able to talk to Mr. Florentine today in an exclusive interview. Didn't have a lot of time with him. It was one of those, you got 10 minutes, try to cram in what you can. But you know your boy, I got in Undisputed. You know, I got him to talk about that. I got him to talk about the fighting and the action movie, Hounds of War, working with Frank Grillo. So he was a great guy. The video froze a little bit again. Always having trouble with video on these Zoom calls and stuff like that. And again, yes, Randy Couture's I swear to God, this interview is coming. I've teased it for so long, but I'm still working on it. It's coming. But I can officially talk about Isaac Florentine because it's in the can. I just got to get that ready too. So hopefully I don't have as many problems with that because we're allowed to release it next Monday along with the review for Hounds of War. I have seen Hounds of War, and I can say, I mean, it's not undisputed, you know, like where it's like crazy martial arts, action design, you know, flipping and flying like, you know, Scott was doing his Boyka and, of course, Michael Jai White. But it's got great action in it. Frank Grillo's solid in it. There's a show-stopping scene where the Hounds of War go into action. And, of course, this is not a spoiler because it's part of the synopsis. Frank loses his entire team, and then he goes on a revenge mission against Robert Patrick. Again, not a spoiler because it's shown in the trailer. But the scene where they go in, they get this high-value target, and then they get decimated is a show-stopping scene. It's got bullets, it's got bravado, it's got fists and feet, and it's a good time. So the rest of the movie, again, I'm not going to say anything else, but that's what I'm going to say. So Isaac Florentine interview is coming forthwith next week, along with my review of Hounds of War. And I have another review, not review, but interview set up for next Monday for a different movie. And I'm not going to jinx it. Again, until it happens, I don't jinx it, but it's a different movie, which stars Frank Grillo as well. Now, here's the thing. I've been trying to interview Frank for a long time, and I get opportunities, and then I get denied. It's like, you know, and again, it's not necessarily the man himself. It's his people and stuff like that. You know, they pick and choose who they want him to do interviews with, and I get it. I'm not JoeBlow.com or, you know, Collider, you know. But it's like, it's getting to the point where it's like, you know, come on. I mean, I've promoted the man's movies left and right, probably more than these sites have. But regardless, it is for a Frank Grillo movie. And it is a man I want to talk to because I'm a big fan of this gentleman as well. And they agreed to talk to me. Thank you. So hopefully that'll work out on Monday. And once it happens, I will announce that on a podcast as well. So got some more. Mr. Wolverine is busy typing away here. He says, I still can't believe Isaac Florentine directed a whole bunch of Power Rangers episodes. That's right. Yes, he did the Power Rangers. And then, of course, he did Desert Kickboxer with John Haynes Newton, who played Superboy. And again, not the greatest movie. And it was kind of dry, kind of slow burn, not a lot of action. But, you know, it's a 90s movie, you know, and it was one of his first movies that he directed. And I'm a fan of it. But then, of course, he went full steam ahead with the Undisputed movies, and then the rest is history and everything like that. So there you go. All right. So without further ado, we are going to get this puppy rolling. I'm going to get it onto my on my website, so that way I can share it with y'all. Boom. There we go. Take cover. All right. Of course, I got it on the little screen, so that way, you know, hopefully it doesn't get nixed by YouTube, you know, because that's what makes these trailer shows hard to do, because it's like, they're like, oh, it's a copyright infringement. I'm like, is it though? Because like everybody and their mother is sharing it on YouTube and their websites and everything. So how is this a copyright infringement? So we're going to watch the trailer first. I have seen it. I will not talk during it. Sometimes, as you notice, when I do my trailer reactions, I tend to make comments because I get excited. I'm just going to let the trailer do the talking. So if you have not seen the trailer yet, I will discuss my thoughts afterwards. So again, if you're out there in La La Land and want to ask some questions or give me your feedback and comments on the trailer and Mr. Adkins, fire away. All right, so here we go. Yes, let's do this. Take cover, Scott Adkins. And Alice Eve, who I love too. She's hot. You know, she's a great actress. She's great to look at. She plays the bad guy here, which is saucy. You know, I'm digging that she's the one that's orchestrating all of this against Scott, you know, and trying to take him out. And you'll see in the trailer, and it looks like they have a couple good lines going back and forth. But that's all I'll say. I'll let the trailer do the talking, and of course I'll talk about it afterwards. So this is the official trailer for Take Cover, starring Scott Adkins and Alice Eve.
Felt righteous at first. To stand up to terror, to make a difference.
Focus.
I'm out after this, brother.
Frankfurt. Now I've missed you.
Welcome, gentlemen. We got a penthouse. We got a city that loves the night. We might as well enjoy ourselves, right?
Where's
All right,
your
we'll say
side
this looks like a whole lot of
Why
fun.
did you put it in the goddamn safe?
I don't know. I just wanted to put it in a safe place.
Why are they trying to kill you?
Someone set us up.
Who do you work for? You got any thoughts?
Besides, we're
Oh, hello.
What are you up to?
Retiring you. You insisted on it. It's going to have to get real messy.
Oh, yeah, baby.
When I get out of this, I'm coming to get you.
Just make sure you don't get shot. Oh, okay. Thanks, Dad.
All right, there you go. The official trailer for Take Cover. All right, now if you read my article announcing this trailer this morning, I issued a formal apology because all right, and I'm going to explain myself here in a second, then I'll talk about the trailer. So when it was first announced, Take Cover, it was announced like a burnt out sniper gets caught in a high rise penthouse with no cover, you know, where a rival sniper tries to take him out. So I thought it was gonna be more like, ooh, Scott's doing something different. It's gonna be more of a cerebral thriller with them, you know, locking horns, you know, and like maybe communicating back and forth and having some repertoire going back and forth as they try to take shots at each other and stuff like that. Nope, I stand corrected, and boy, I could not be any more wrong, and I am happy that I could not be any more wrong because this looks like a full-blown, full throttle, hyperkinetic, in your face battle action movie with Scott doing his signature stuff. We got guys falling all over the place. We got mercenaries, you know, whoever, contract killers, getting killed left and right, and it just looks like a whole lot of good time. Here's the official synopsis for it. We got Scott Adkins has got no cover, no backup, and no way out in this claustrophobic action thriller. He plays Sam Lorde, has spent a lifetime killing people. After hit gone wrong, he finds himself disillusioned and lacking purpose, deciding to retire as a hitman. His final job, however, results in him being a target himself. With little to no cover, he must fight with everything he has to survive. Starring Scott Adkins, Jacques, Parr, Alice Eve, Madeline Bellillon, I hope I pronounced that right, and Billy Clements. Take Cover is written by Joshua Todd James and directed by Nick McKinless. And again, like I said, Nick McKinless is he cut his teeth in the stunt world. He again is now getting his hand at directing, and I could not be more happy for this man because he's got a definite future in the industry. So we got some, Wolverine's got some reactions first, and I'll give mine. He says, I love how they use the sound in the trailer with gun cocking matching the music. Yes, that's always a plus. And then he also says, it actually does look like a major theatrical of a movie. Yes, that's what I said in my, thank you. You read my article. Awesome. It's like, yeah, I love when people actually, you know, like, hey, because I love it when I share stuff on social media and it's an article and they'll be like, when does it come out? I'll be like, well, if you click on it, it tells you. It's like, that's how I know you didn't read it. Or what's it about? Who's it star? Right? It's like, you didn't read it. It's because all the information's right in that article. I love it. What are you gonna do? Okay, so all right, so let me give my thoughts on it. Okay, so one, you know, everybody knows I'm a huge Scott Adkins fan. Even his not so great movies, you know, I still watch. You know, I revisit. You know, because not every movie has been masterpieces, or you know, it's not all been Avengement, you know, and the Debt Collectors, and you know, and stuff like that. But I love every movie that he does, and we all know that he's on the big screen this weekend, starring with Dave Bautista in the Killer's Game, which I have not seen, and I told you guys why. I love my daughter. She's actually right now. She's right across from me, and she's just chilling, watching some television as I do this. Don't worry, I'm gonna watch a movie with her when I'm done. But yeah, so I have to wait till next Monday after work to go see the flick because you know, I can't take my daughter to go see the Killer's Game, but I am taking her to see Transformers 1. Yes, so we're gonna have a good time with that one. But yeah, so I gotta wait. So everybody and their mother's putting their reviews out this weekend. God bless all you guys that are able to see it. And once again, mine will be super late. But hey, you know what? You saved the best for last, right? So I'm the only opinion that matters. So wait to read my review if you haven't already seen the damn movie. So, all right, Wolverine's commenting again. All right, I gotta get to my comments here. October is just around the corner. Definitely renting the VOD when it comes out. Well, yeah, hello. All right, so let me talk about the trailer. Okay, now I mentioned in it, I mean, okay, one, it co-stars Jacques Parr, and a lot of you might not know who Jacques Parr is, but he's been in Peaky Blinders, Masters of the Air, but he was also one of the Navy SEALs in One Shot. The first One Shot was Scott Adkins. He played one of Atkins' Navy SEALs. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie by now, then you're not an action fan, but, you know, he dies in that one. So what his fate is in this movie, I'm not sure, but I'm picking up Tango and Cash, you know, Riggs and Murtaugh vibes between him and Atkins. Looks like they got great chemistry together. And I also mentioned how I was digging the humor on display in the trailer. You know, he's like, why did you put the gun in the safe? He's like, because I wanted to put it in a safe place. I laughed. That was funny. You know, it looks like there's a lot of funny moments to go along with all the chaotic, you know, mayhem and carnage going on. You know, and I'm digging that aspect of it, but I also mentioned how it has this polished sheen to it. It looks like a big budget theatrical thriller, you know, something that you would see playing with the Killer's Game this weekend. You know, why not? You know, now of course this movie's coming. It's, you know, it says in theaters and on demand October 4th. That's the official release date. But what theaters? It's probably going to be New York, Los Angeles, Toronto, you know, like all these major cities that I live nowhere near. So I will have to get it on demand. And I mean, I'm going to see it beforehand because I'm going to I'm going to, you know, watch it, you know, for a review. But I'm probably going to buy it, and then I'll buy the physical copy when it comes out because it just looks spectacular and it looks like a great Scott Adkins vehicle where he's doing his jaw-dropping stunts, the fight choreography, the theatrics, the humor. Alice Eve looks great in it, and it just, you know, you got a drone shooting. You know, he's running across the room as a drone shooting at him. He's got, you know, martial arts fights. You know, it's the trailer starts off, and you gotta love a trailer when it knows its target audience, and right away you see Scott Adkins delivering his aerial kicks right from the get-go, and you're like, oh, okay, this is a Scott Adkins movie. This is a traditional Scott Adkins thriller. And I don't say that in a bad way, like I said, but I just thought this was going to be more of a different type of movie. But then when I saw Nick McKinless is directing it, I was like, he's a stunt guy turned, you know, filmmaker. So yeah, it's got to have some good stunts in it. And boy, was I... holy cow. Like I said, I'm excited, you know. I'm like, you know, I get excited for movies and stuff like that. And it's great. I mean, it just looks like a great time. Scott looks funny in it. Jack looks funny in it. It looks like they got great chemistry together. Alice Eve looks great. It looks like, you know, she's playing it. She's eating up the scenery, you know, playing the villain in this one who's trying to retire Scott Adkins and everything. Oh, we got Tan Eugene who's joining on Facebook. Tan says, with Lionsgate having a very difficult year, especially since their movies didn't do well. Yeah, that's an understatement. At the box office this year, could the Killer's Game be the movie that can give the Lionsgate the recovery? Well, no, because evidently the Killer's Game, Owen's mad because he lives in Toronto, Canada, and it's not playing in Canada, I guess. Or, you know, so where it's playing in North America, I have, you know, you know, it's playing in North America and everything, but I don't think it got a release like, you know, other movies did. Kind of like the Ministry of Ungenderly Warfare didn't get released everywhere, you know, which was kind of stupid. So yeah, I mean, so probably not. You know, will it make more than The Crow? I'm hoping, because The Crow made like dick at the box office. Spoiler alert, I still liked it. I didn't love it. I liked it. And it's nothing to do with Brandon Lee's movie. It's because everybody's like, oh, they're remaking The Crow. No, they're not. There's like 3 other movies that came after it too that they suck bad. It's like, it's not like this is a remake of the Brandon Lee movie. This is a totally different interpretation, and I could go on all day, but I'm not going to get stuck and go off on a tangent. So Wolverine says the weirdest movie he saw from Atkins was Abduction. Yeah, it was. Yeah, the biggest thing about Abduction, though, it looked like they ran out of money though at the end, because like there's not like a big finale or climax in terms of action. There's great action going all the way through the movie, and he's got a great fight with Andy On, who co-stars with him, but after that it's just kind of like it fizzles. You know, so I was like, what are you gonna do? All right. Killer's Game isn't releasing every so yeah. So we're yes. Yup. So you're call them up, be like, yo, what's the deal? Why aren't we getting the Killer's Game where I live? You know, it's like it's got they're I don't know. So it's like I can't say anything more than that. He says I'll be checking out The Crow tomorrow. Yeah, listen, if you like it, good. If not, hey, no sweat off my back. I still liked it, and I'll admit it to the day I die. I gave it a. Did I give it a 3 or 3.5? I can't remember, but I mean, the opera scene with Chef's Kiss alone. Oh my God. I would have gave it the movie at least just 2 stars just for that scene alone. But was it as heartfelt as the Brandon Lee movie? No. Were the characters as good? I mean, well, Shelley Webster was more involved. Well, it's not Shelley Webster. I'm sorry. It's not Shelley Webster and Eric Draven. It's Eric and Shelley, but different. So you do the math on that one. But I mean, dude, if you read my review, I do a lot of negatives for the movie. But even with the negatives, I still liked it. So, yep. He says closest location is 40 miles away. I'm not driving out of. Yeah, I wouldn't drive 40 miles just to see a movie. Listen, nowadays it's going to be on demand in 2 weeks anyway, so you'll just have to wait a little bit longer, and you'll see it. All right, so let's get back on track here. So we're talking about Take Cover, and again, I love the trailer, digging it. Scott Adkins is back. We all know that he also has Diablo coming out with Marcos Doror, who also stars with him as an assassin in the Killer's Game. So, and Daniel Bernhardt. Oh my God, I can't wait till Monday when I finally get to see it. I will write my review as fast as possible when I go to see it on Monday, after my interview that I have lined up, because I go to work, then I get home from work, then I'm going to do the interview, then I'm going to go see the Killer's Game. So I got a busy Monday going on. So I love it. And then, of course, he's got Skyline Warpath he made with Eco US. So it's a good time to be a Scott Adkins fan. He's doing all kinds of stuff and looking great. You know, of course, you know, he's in his 40s now, but he's in great shape. He trains, and you know he can do this for a long time. He's like Jason Statham. Jason Statham's in his 50s and still looks phenomenal. So these guys can do it well into their 60s, or even their 70s. Chuck Norris, God, he just did Agent Recon, and he was doing that. He had a minigun, for God's sakes. So yeah, it's not like I live in some putnik town that's the size of a penny. I know, right? I'm sorry, dude. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. That you can't even go. Listen, I have a movie theater. I have 2 movie theaters near me where I could go see it. I just gotta wait because I have my daughter, which is great. I love my daughter. I don't want to make that sound like a bad thing. I can wait to see a movie. I mean, if I didn't have my daughter, I would have seen it yesterday. That's all there is to it. But, I have to wait till Monday, and it is what it is. I don't care. I'll see it. I don't do my review late. I don't care. I don't get paid a lot to do this. I get paid, like, how close can I put my finger to my thumb? So it's like I just do it because I love it. And, and again, I don't have deadlines. It's not, well, I do have deadlines. Sometimes when I'm dealing with these PR people, they want the interviews out the week of and the reviews and stuff like that, which is fine. But, other than that, it's like I have no stake to the Killer's Game unless instead of the simple fact that I'm an action fan and this has everybody I pretty much love in the genre in it. And it's directed by J.J. Loco Perry, again, another great martial arts Taekwondo guy who cut his teeth in the stuff. And then, of course, we all know he did The Day Shift with Jamie Foxx. That was his first directing gig. Solid action movie. Scott Adkins was in that for a scene. Scott Adkins is probably only being there for a scene. He's with Drew McIntyre, the WWE guy. So that looks like a lot of fun. I heard good things about their scenes together. So we'll see when I go to see it on Monday. There you go. Boom, baby. All right, so let's get back to this. So I'm going to show you some images now from Take Cover. These were released to me from the PR people. So again, like I said, that one's been out for a while, but now we got this one where he's taking aim with the shotgun. So we had the one where he was poised and just holding it. Now he's taking aim with it. I like this one. Yeah, him stabbing some guy in the back. That's always a plus. That's very nice. Then we got him like he's taking cover. He's take cover. He's taking cover. So he's armed. After this scene or this picture was taken, he's going to leap up and start shooting some people. Then of course more fighting. There you go. Yep. Then we got the great Alice Eve. Yes, she looks very pissed off in this photo. That's I think when he just Scott tells her off, and so. And now here he is with Jacques Parr. They're a duo, they're a combo. They're comrades, they're allies. And then a hit goes wrong, and then it looks like they go on vacation or something. And of course, it all goes to shit. There's Jack taking aim and firing his pistola. This one I like too. There's a lot of guys with guns firing big. The bar's on fire. Gotta love it. And just a random shot of Scott talking in a scene. And of course, there's the poster right there. Again, like the poster, I'm digging it. A lot of times, posters nowadays, we always talk about how they, in the 80s and the 90s, even the 70s, they had some great looking posters. Like it was like arts. Now it's just like, like this one's simple. Yeah, you got her, you got Alice Eve, you got Scott Adkins on the cover. Is it photoshopped? I'm hoping that's their bodies. It's a simple one, but I dig it. I would buy that on physical media and be proud to display it. So yeah, so I'm digging it. I like it. What are you gonna do, right? You say here. Wolverine says, "I like the poster. It's simple, like the old days." Yeah, there you go. Love it. There you go. It's nice. And of course, here's the that's the one with him just holding it before he takes aim of it. And of course, there he is again with Nick McKinless, who looks like he's got a great career. And actually, funny story, I put this on Instagram, and Nick McKinless, let me see if I can bring it up here on my phone. He shared it on Instagram, which was super cool. Let me see if I can find it. Sometimes they disappear like right away. Hang on. Nope, it's gone. Anyway, I promise he did. He did one of those, like they go away, like they vanish. It's not a post, but it's like an advertisement or something. And he thanked me, so that was cool of him. I mean, I'm not sure that they'll be setting up interviews for this movie or not. I mean, and here's the other thing: it's coming out October 4th. So like a lot of these movies that come out on demand and in select theaters, like they release the trailers and the artwork and everything like 2 weeks before they come out, or 3 weeks. It's like big budget movies, like you'll see the trailer like months before they come out. But now with these movies, so yeah, so it's a good time. So there you go. Yeah, so I'm excited. So hang on a second. I'm messaging somebody. All right, so I lost my train of thought. So yeah, so let's go back to the trailer. And you know what? Let's show it again, shall we? Because I'm excited. That's why we're here. So let's do it again, shall we? So, all right, hang on a second. I'm going to have a guest joining me here in a second, but I have to share the official invite to the stream. So bear with me 1 second, everybody. Bear with me. Hang on. All right, there you go, buddy. It's there. Pop up if you want to. All right, so I'm going to start talking until he joins me. I was going to show the trailer again, but I'm going to wait for him to pop up. So where was I? See, something always happens and I lose my train of thought. But it's okay. What are you going to do? You know what? It's live TV. So I'm digging this. It's a good time. Great chemistry, it looks like, between the two leads. Adkins looks like he's having fun, and again, I wasn't expecting the humor aspect of it, which is always, I mean, it doesn't look like it's a comedy. It just has funny moments in it. So it just adds another layer to it, if you will. So you got the heavy action, you got the drama. You got Atkins doing his thing. But yeah, so him and the chemistry between him and Jack Parr look great. And again, it looks like he has some good chemistry with Alice Eve, talking on the phone, and, she's getting pissed off because, of course, she's trying to kill him, and he's hard to kill. See what I did there? So, anyways. Boy, I look dumb with this bandana on. I don't look good with bandana. Normally, I wear a cap. That's why. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this off. Hang on. That was for Chad, so that's over with. I'm going to put my cap back on. There we go. That's the one I usually wear. There you go, baby. All right. So, yeah. So, I'm excited in the sense that, it's like a day when a Scott Adkins movie comes out. It's like it should be like a holiday, because it should like take time off from work. Grab some snacks, grab some sodas or beer if that's your preference. I don't drink. I do love my soda. I do sugar-free soda, so that way I don't feel as guilty when I'm drinking it, because I drink a lot of soda, especially now that I'm single. Hey, whatever. But yeah, so grab snacks, grab soda, grab beer, grab buddies, and just watch this and have a good time and watch people die and get kicked in the head and things blow up and bullets hit walls and bodies and everything. And it just looks like a solid good time. All right, so let's go down the line on those images again. So we got Atkins, got an action like this one. And I like this because when I do my review, I'll be able to put all these in there. I like when because sometimes they give you images or pics from the movie and they suck. And you're like, I'm not using that. Nobody wants to look at that. But, you got a lot of good stuff here. So, I'm digging it. The random shot of Scott talking because, you need one. you need one of those. All right. So I am. Oh, we got more. Wow, Wolverine is on fire tonight. First time I've seen you without a hat. Got that classic Lex Luthor look. Thank you. I'm bald. I've been bald since, let's see, my hair started receding when I was 19 or 20. And after that, it was just zzz, and I was just like, you know what? I never looked back since. People are like, do you miss having hair? And I'm like, no, because I can't even remember what the frick it felt like to have hair. All right, so I am going to be joined here by my brother from another mother who has not been on the show for a while. I've been going solo here for a little bit. We got Shane, the action nerd Logan. Oh, hang on a second. We'll get you there. All right, here you are. How's it going?
Oh, it's going.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. It's like the month of July sucked for me, and my car broke down, and
yes.
Stayed with my kids at their place, so their mom was nice enough to give me a ride to work so I could keep working. Let's see. Why is my mic not lighting up? So hold on.
Technical. Well, we can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh yeah, no, it's. And then yeah, it's like just work's been crazy. Yeah, exactly. You can see that I rearranged my back wall there. So.
Yes, you got a lot of stuff. You got a lot. Like, there's more. Is there more on?
Yep. Well, there's more there. Sadly, the frame for that one broke, so I have to replace it. I do have.
It happened.
Bad Boys Ride or Die. The poster there.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I saw that the title was "Take Cover Trailer Reaction," which I literally just watched that earlier today.
There you go. Yep. So give us your thoughts. I mean, I've already talked about it. I'm excited. I think it looks great. I actually think it looks like a big budget movie.
It does, surprisingly. For it's like I think it's about time that Scott Adkins is in a big budget movie or something that looks like it.
They spent money on it. They spent money on it.
Yes.
I mean, it's not Disney money, but it looks like they which is good. Well, one, Adkins should get the respect and get the money. But, Nick McKinless, this is his first feature film that he's directing. So it's cool that.
And was that Alice Eve as the basically the bad guy in the trailer? So I've always had like a slight crush on her, so
I have more than a slight crush on her, my friend.
oh yeah.
Yep, that's her on the.
And then
yeah, she gets top billing with Scott. Yeah, she's a big name.
Right, that's awesome.
Yep. And then hang on, there she is. Yep, that's her
Yep.
on the phone. He sets up.
I think it's funny because if I remember correctly from the trailer, he's talking with his American accent, and she's talking with her actual accent.
I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, because I got inundated on social media. Scott's using his American accent. I've never saw a Scott Adkins movie where I was disappointed or was like, you know what? I just can't watch this movie because he's trying to do an American accent. I've never, listen, you can tell when he's doing an American accent, but that's fine. But it's like, I don't care. It's like,
I don't care either. I just think it's funny.
You should have heard the people coming at me like with his accent. I'm like, shut up about his accent already. It's like,
well, no, I just think it's funny. He does his American accent in it, and she's doing her actual British voice,
right?
British accent,
because she's done an American accent. Yeah, I love. She's out of your league, which is one of the funniest movies ever. I watch that religiously to this day, and she's hot in that. Well, she's hot in general, but she's way hot in that movie, and it's just it's hysterical.
She didn't have a big role, like too big of a role in Freelance, the John Cena one.
Oh, I know. You know what? I have not seen that yet. I still haven't seen that movie.
It's on Hulu. So, I just noticed that Boy Kills Worlds just got onto Hulu today.
Oh, did it? Oh, I had that. I got that on physical media when it came out. I love that.
And then, it's funny because I saw that and I'm like, oh, wow. Last movie I saw Bill Skarsgård was like 3 weeks ago. And that was opening weekend for The Crow. So
I liked it.
Yeah, I hated his hair in that movie.
Listen, I hate his look. I will die and go 6 feet under and hate his look. Why they gave him that haircut, I'll never know. But it didn't kill it for me. I still like the movie, and I still like what they did with it. And it's got nothing to fucking do with the Brandon Lee movie. So people need
no, it doesn't.
And get educated. They need to get educated. Here's what I said. And if you read my review, I put a lot of negatives in there. There was a lot of problems I had with this movie. But even with the problems, I still enjoyed it. And I said I now have my double feature to go with Brandon Lee's Crow. That's what I said. Is this as good as Brandon Lee's? No, it's not. And it's like remakes. And this is not a remake or a reboot. Everybody that says it, again, get educated. It's a totally different reinterpretation of the source.
It's a reimagining, is I think
yes,
the director.
Thank you. Yes.
So.
Or reinterpretation or reimagining. Yes. Yeah. And you know what? Just shut up already, because everybody's just like, ugh. And then I get laughed. Like, and here's what pisses me off the most, right? Is when I do a review and I pour my heart into it and my sweat, and it takes a long time to write a review. It sucks, let me tell you. That's why I do some of them on, and people put laughing emojis on them. There's one guy, his name's Keith. I'm coming at you. Put a laughing, and I'm like, you know what? It's like, I know you don't like the movie, dude, but you don't have to put a laughing emoji on my review of it just because I liked it. So go to hell.
But yeah, it's like from my break, when I was able to get my car working, it sucked because the alternator went out. And I can jokingly say that Vin Diesel's got nothing on me because I installed that alternator all on myself. It was a pain in the ass, but
it was.
Once I got it working, I think one of the first things I did was I saw Deadpool and Wolverine, the week after it came out, and I loved that movie. That's got to be one of my favorites of the year. And then I saw The Crow eventually, and now I'm seeing Scott Adkins pop. He actually, technically, a movie he's in came out today theatrically, but he's not really been advertised that much in it.
No, he's not in it that much, I'm pretty sure. It's like J.J. Perry's Day Shift, where he was only in the one scene. He might, like I said, I don't know. I haven't seen it. I haven't read any reviews because I don't care what other people say about it, and I don't read other people's reviews.
Well, me being a wrestling fan, hearing that Batista and Drew McIntyre are in a movie together, when I didn't even realize Drew McIntyre was in the movie until I was watching one of the premium live events for the WWE. I think it was SummerSlam, and they had Dave Bautista in the Killing Game, and they had Drew McIntyre. It looked like one of his wrestling promo pics with a red tank top on.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was more thinking, you know, I would love to see Scott Adkins and Daniel Bernhardt get in a 3-way fight with Batista, but I get the feeling it's going to be more like one-on-one type thing. Where
Bernhardt is after Batista. He plays like a military contract guy who has a hit squad that's going after him. He's not an assassin per se. He's like he's like a
tactical squad.
Yeah, that kind of. Yeah, you got the crazy assassins, and then you got that guy running around.
So besides, you know, today being Friday the 13th, which.
Oh yeah.
Yep, I'm repping it.
You know what? That didn't even register with me until you just said that. I'm like,
but no, there's another thing. It's like I'm just before I let me double check my facts. Fact checking people, it's real. Otherwise, you get shit on. Yep, I'm right. I just have to say happy 58th birthday to Louis Mandylor. So
yes. Oh my God, Operation Blood Hunt. I shared the trailer for that this week as well.
I gotta watch that one. So
okay. I know we're doing Scott Adkins trailer. It's my show, though. I can do whatever the hell I want.
Yeah, it's your show, man. And but no, it's
now
like
I embedded. Okay, let me just say real quick before you talk. I embedded this trailer, so if they cut me off for showing this trailer, then you know what? I'm like, I have the they gave me the download to do it, so we should be able to watch it and have no problems. But yeah, here, no, I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let you watch all the juiciness.
We lost contact with Marine outpost near the Mariana Trench.
We need someone with skills in your area of expertise.
You'd be going in with a team of operatives specially trained for this type of situation.
Do these guys know they've been sent on suicide mission?
That's not really their concern.
You know, Yamashita's gold.
You know, it's been a while since we've actually had a decent werewolf movie.
Hard to kill. You're gonna need that. It's made from silver.
Nice. I do like Jonathan Rhys-Meyers. He does a great job playing like a scumbag villain. And then, you know, being the decent like sidekick to the hero, he's a good actor. I like him.
But I love the practical effects. I love the werewolves running at him and leaping and Ooh.
You know,
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
The only
okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say the only issue I have with it is because he's not the best of actors. Because I've seen a few movies he's been in. Rampage Jackson.
Yeah, well, he was supposed to be he was supposed to hit more like of a bigger plateau, like with doing movies. It just never got there. Yeah. And then he did a lot of movies where he was promoted, and then he didn't do any fighting in it. And I'm like, why was it even?
Well, he didn't do any fighting in it, or you know, his biggest movie he did was the A-Team, and that didn't do well theatrically.
I love the A-Team though. I love.
Oh yeah, that great movie. I loved it, and you know, I have it. I got the extended director's cut Blu-ray of it, and you know, I just part of me was like, he had a battle playing the with the role because the fans, everybody's going to go back to the original, and I remember people like everybody was great, but Rampage Jackson wasn't no Mr. T.
No, he wasn't trying. Listen, and he said that he
wasn't
was like, there was no way I was going to do better than Mr. T, so I just didn't have with it. So yeah, it is
But
what
yeah,
it is.
it's like I've seen him in other movies. Yeah, he doesn't get those fights. I did see. Oh God, I can't remember the name of it. It was like a huge in the early or late 2000s. It was a big DTV DVD movie with like George St. Pierre and Rampage Jackson and a bunch of other UFC guys doing a movie together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was Patrick Kilpatrick was the bad guy in it.
Mm-hmm.
So
because
like
all those MMA direct-to-video movies, Rampage front and center, and wasn't in it like at all. Yeah, and
exactly. Yep.
Made for a good BA. Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, like
He
I said,
did.
He did fine. It's just he wasn't Mr. T. We get it.
Oh yeah, and there was one thing, a slight little mystery I had was, okay, I keep seeing this Scott Adkins promo picture, the one where he sticks his head up and there's the scope of his rifle. I'm like, what the hell is this from? Most likely I missed the title, and then I see the trailer to this and I'm like, that's it. I want to see this. I've had to like see snippets of it at times for one more shot, because I'm like, I love Scott Adkins. He's a great actor. He's a great martial artist. I'm glad he's starting to do more since John Wick 4.
Mm-hmm.
Because I listened to an interview with Stephen Amell, and he was like, every actor is just waiting for that big break to happen. Mm-hmm. And Scott's been doing that, making movies for over 20 years now. And
let's see. Well, like 2003 is when Special Forces came out. I'll never forget that year because that's when they came out on DVD. I mean, he did a few like little things before that, but that was his first big break with Isaac Florentine putting him in that.
Yeah, movie. And then I think another big one was the Medallion with Jackie Chan, where he had the end fight.
He was a henchman. Yeah, he fought Jackie Chan in that movie. And again, he's one of the greatest things his career, he talked about. But Special Forces, so like 2003. So so like
I was gonna say that's also starred Marshall Teague in it.
Yes, and Tim Abel, who I love. I actually him from Soldier of Fortune. Scott Adkins for 007. Well, yeah, that's not going to happen, unfortunately.
Sadly, no.
Black Mask too. Yeah, he did. Yep. And I didn't like his look in that movie. He was bald, wearing them goofy.
Yeah. He even said you don't recognize him in an interview that I heard. He was like, "You can't recognize me. Not a whole lot of people know it."
The movie was just. It wasn't like I thought it was gonna be like the first one, but then like they were turning into monsters, and I was just like, I'm like, I haven't watched it since. So I mean, he fought Scott Adkins at the end. But other than that, it was just like, Well, Andy On, was in. Took over for Jet Li, and it did like, and it was like a Hong Kong-esque flair, type,
Yeah, it was.
Other than that, the whole movie was a dumpster fire. So it's like I thought.
Yeah, I think the main reason why I watched it at the time was it was before I knew who exactly Scott Adkins was, but I think I remember watching it on the Sci-Fi Channel one time, and the reason why I was Tracy Lorde.
Well, of course.
Yeah. So
enough said. Don't have to say any more about that.
Yeah, she. I just remember. I think her character was the chameleon, and they're like, "Oh, a bunch of wrestlers turn." I'm like, well, everybody knows if you watch this, I'm a wrestling fan. So
Rob Van Dam.
Yeah, if I'm gonna watch a movie and they're gonna show off wrestling, I'm gonna watch it. So
sure. I mean, it's not like, again, it's not like, I love when people say, this is the worst movie I've ever seen. I'm like, is it the worst movie you've ever seen? I mean, Black Mass 2 isn't even the worst movie I've ever seen. I just didn't like it, and I just haven't watched it since. So that's all. He says, I like Black Mass, at least for the character reminded me of Kato. Yeah, I mean, the original Jet Li was
oh, yeah.
They had that, like noirish kind of feel to
I sadly saw Black Mass the original on VHS around the time Universal Soldier The Return came out. And it was about that time, and where I was at in Germany, like sometimes like, oh yeah, there's a new movie coming out. Let's one of the British channels that we did get would show the original. And I watched the original, and then I watched Black Mask, and I'm like, there's super soldiers. What? I thought they did it better in Universal Soldier. Yep. I actually I own that one. It's Day of Reckoning.
You know, I have the import, the 3D version, because I have a 3D TV in my bedroom.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks really good in 3D. I mean, a lot of people aren't like big on 3D, but like I have a lot of good ones, and that's a good. I have and the first Wolf Warrior in 3D as well. That I.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's like, I will actually say this: the very first movie I rented digitally was Universal Soldier: Day of Reckoning.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it was the first because Scott Adkins is in it, and I was like, Jean-Claude's in it, and Dolph Lundgren's in it. I love those guys. They're, always a fun time when you see them in a movie.
It's a horror movie if you think about it. I mean, it's an action movie, but it's got a lot of.
It's
horror.
a slasher film.
Yeah.
It's a slasher film.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so much over the top violence and nudity.
Oh yeah.
It's just like it's amazing. And then that last 20 minutes, you're just like, wow.
It's just a straight up massacre. Yep.
Oh, okay. So Universal Soldier: Day of Reckoning put him on the map for Wolverine. Well, hey, you know what? You got to get it somewhere, right? I'm happy to say that I was there from the ground up. With Special Forces. I remember the day I brought it home from Blockbuster. Remember Blockbuster? And I was like, because actually I rented it because I was a Marshall Teague fan and a Tim Apple fan, because Tim Apple was in Soldier of Fortune with the late great Brad Johnson. And I'm like, oh my God, my two favorite actors. I didn't even know who the frick Scott Adkins was. And then I put it in my DVD player, and then you know how they put the trailer on it with it? So I watched the trailer, and I'm like, who's this guy flipping around in the trailer? I'm like, that's not either of those guys, And then I watched the movie, and I was just like, what?
See, the movie that put Scott Adkins on the radar for me was Undisputed 2, Last Man Standing with Michael Jai White, and they're fighting the first time we see Boyka, and watching that movie, seeing him do the flips and everything, I was like, oh, this guy's awesome. I love him. And so yeah, that's where I got it.
Legendary. Yeah, I saw Legendary. Well, story for Legendary. Yes, it does star Scott Adkins and Dolph Lundgren. Scott Adkins was injured when he made it, so he was not able to do any action or fighting in that movie. And he's talked about that extensively. I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's just if you rent it to watch Scott Adkins fight Dolph Lundgren, there's like a little bit of like gunplay.
Yeah,
but yeah, you'll be disappointed if that's all you did.
Oh no! Here's something even funner. I own it on digital.
Oh, do you? Wow.
I own it on digital because it's one of the few. I think it's actually the only Scott Adkins movie because I kind of wanted my kids to see it. Monster movies. I love.
Hey, Ty Lorde. All right, we got somebody else popping up.
I was gonna say I love Scott Adkins. So it's like, you know what? I'll combine them. Problem was my kids' mom, my ex, when I tried to introduce her to Scott Adkins, the movie I picked for her to see him for the first time was not probably the best movie for her. Was Max Cloud. So
yeah, that's an acquired taste. I like Max Cloud. I interviewed him for Max Cloud.
It's fun if you just don't take it seriously at all.
Oh hell no! You can't take the movie.
So
the movie itself doesn't take itself seriously.
No, it doesn't take itself seriously at all. It's like oh god, I think it's kind of more like a Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oh my god, I've only seen that once in the theater, and I was like, "What am I looking at?" That was.
Yeah, I've introduced my kids to Dragon Ball Z, and we watched Battle of the Gods, Resurrection of F, Super Broly.
Well, you're talking about the anime, though. I'm talking about the live action crap.
No. Because I've been part of the reason why I haven't been on is I've been helping my kids' mom. Like I go to work. She works at home for a little bit, but she has to go to the office during the day as well. So once I get off of work, I go take care of the kids, and she goes to the office. I just happened to luck out, and she said I could take a break from taking care of the kids today. So, yay!
Well, that's no worries.
And then, but one of the times where they came over to my place, I purposely bought the DVD for $1.99 at a pawn shop for Dragon Ball Evolution to somewhat torture my kids years ago. But
$1.99, that's the problem.
Well, here's the thing. I did. So, like I said, I did it as a way to torture my kids. They enjoy it.
Your children, were they bad that day? Were they misbehaving? I can see that.
They weren't listening, so I was like, "Here, pop this in," and they sat down, and enjoyed it.
Did they enjoy it?
They enjoy it.
I can see kids liking it. I mean, because kids don't know any better. I mean, they're like,
hey. My 5-year-old daughter, who's going to be 6 on Tuesday, actually, she's I taught her how to go Super Saiyan, so she gets in the pose, starts roaring and charging up, and it's a quick way to get her to focus on things. So I'm just waiting till this weekend to watch Dragon Ball Superhero with them to see how they react to that. It'll be the first time I've seen the movie, so.
Oh, good. Okay. Oh, good. It's a family affair now. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
Just don't watch that live action movie again. Oh my God! Don't do that to them. That's horrible.
I was doing dishes when it was on, so I wasn't.
Oh, you weren't watching. Okay.
I wasn't watching.
Was in another room. I was outside mowing the lawn.
Almost, yeah. It's like, gotta keep my mental sanity.
All right, let's get back on track. I don't want to talk about that anymore. Oh my God, that's like horrendous pile of garbage. Okay, again, not the worst movie I've ever seen, but you know, it's in a league. It's definitely within a league. All right, so did you give your thoughts on the trailer?
You know, it looks great. I'm actually looking quite forward to it. So,
my bad.
Yeah, it looks awesome, and like you said, you could tell they put money into it.
Yes.
Which, you know, I think action movies, even the DTV action movies, they need to have some money in it because there's a market for them, and otherwise, you wouldn't have the site, and we wouldn't be able to sit here and talk like this at all.
You know what I'm like, the Tiger Style Media. Did you see those? I mean, I put, you know, those came out the last few weeks. You know, they had Art of 8 Limbs, and then The Lockdown, and then Lady Scorpions, and now Kung Fu Games. I reviewed 3 of them. I have not done Kung Fu Games, the last one that came out. But I was disappointed in the aspect of all 3 of them. I mean, Lady Scorpion's not so much, like Cynthia Rothrock's in that one, and she does do Cynthia Rothrock things. Like Caitlin Deschelle, she's a major star in the making. She's in Kung Fu Games also. But I was disappointed in all of them. I heard Kung Fu Games is like they saved the best for last, so I have not seen it yet.
Okay.
I reviewed the others like the day they came out because I was off that day, and I watched them and then reviewed them. But
you know, there's only one of those that I want to see, and that was Lockdown, because Michael Bihn's in it, and I'm a Katie Lotz fan.
Yes,
so
that's better. That's better. Art of 8 Limbs is no Enter the Dragon, and it doesn't even come close. I mean, Ludi Lin, now I know why, like, he's an ensemble. He didn't do anything for me in terms of, you know, like being the main star. But The Lockdown is better. It's got Michael Biehn in it, and he's great in it. Katie Lotz is good, and she does some phenomenal fighting. Leo Howard, who I'm a fan of, who needs to make movies. I don't know, you know, he hasn't done anything since, you know, he was in G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra as a kid, as young Snake Eyes, and then he did that Nickelodeon TV series. But he hasn't done like any real like martial arts themed action movies. So this was kind of like his coming out party. So I was happy that he did it, and I was happy with the movie, and it was much better than Art of 8 Limbs. It's just the finale. There's no finale. There's no action.
Yeah, it's Katie Lotz is actually a multiple degree black belt in martial arts.
Yes,
she's
she
also
is, and she looks great, and she needs to make more of those. You know.
Well, she's got to take a break for a little while because I follow her on Instagram, and I will say this: congratulations, Katie, on your baby. She just
my bad.
no, she just had a baby like a week ago.
Oh, so obviously she filmed that before she got pregnant.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So, and I was a big fan of hers on
Leo Howard was
Arrow.
young, right? Yeah, he was young Conan. Leo Howard was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was in
I just know him from I knew him from G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. I wasn't really into young Conan and I never watched it. What's that show called? Do you know what show that was? He was on. I'm gonna look it up right now, actually.
The Amanda Show with Amanda Bynes.
No.
Oh no.
No.
I don't know. It's like I fell off the map in the. Before I was 20. I fell off the map on Nickelodeon.
I never got into Nickelodeon. I mean, but
well, I remember like when all that first came out.
Yeah, I mean, he was young Conan in Jason Momoa's version, which I liked. I haven't seen it in a long time though. That's why I forgot that he was young Conan in that one. But yeah, his filmography, he's done a lot of TV. I'm looking down the line. Oh, Kicking It. Yeah, it was called Kicking It. It was from 2011 to 2015, 84 episodes. And it was martial arts based. Like they were like a martial arts family. Yeah, I mean, but aside from that, he's done a lot of TV work. But yeah, he needs to make some martial arts movies because he was solid in it. I enjoyed it. I just thought that they ran out of money at the end or something because like there's just no big like finale or a set piece, to go. And then like it's kind of anticlimactic. This is the best word. I'm not going to spoil anything in case you want to watch it, but
I do want to see it. So, but
but I was
Ludi Lin when I saw the preview for The Art of the Eight Limbs. I actually watched it on your site, and
I'm sorry, it was Disney, not Nickelodeon. I don't know. All I know is I never watched it, and I just knew that he was in it. I have no idea if it's the Disney Channel, because Disney Channel does do those type of shows too, those young teenage shows like Nickelodeon did. Listen, this is an action film website. It's not Disney Channel or Nickelodeon. So
I don't know. We have
although I will say with my daughter, I've been watching some Nickelodeon shows. We watched the Ariana Grande show that she did when she was younger. It was funny. Leo and what's something in Cat was it? But the blonde haired girl that was in another Nickelodeon show, and they
McQueen. Yeah, it's like I know who she is.
Yeah, and it was funny. I laughed a lot. I mean, it was a funny show, and my daughter loved it. And it was just funny to see Ariana Grande like before she became the pop star that she is now. And she's funny. Like she has this. She doesn't talk like that in real life, but she's kind of like this ditzy voice, and she's just. It's funny, and she's like making fun of herself in a good way, and it's just, I enjoyed it. Listen, it's not all about the action, people. I watch stuff with my kids too. So,
it's like, I've been spending a lot of time with my kids. So yeah, I've been watching a bunch of kids shows.
So yeah, and I actually saw the Purple Crayon movie with
Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Yeah, I went to see that with my daughter, and we enjoyed that. And I'm going to take her to see Transformers 1 when I get her back. It comes out next week, which I'll go see it. But then I'll go see it again with her because she's excited. She's like, Daddy, can I go see the Transformers? I'm like, yeah, you can go see. Yeah, I'll take you to go see a Transformers because I got the Regal thing, so it's not going to cost me anymore. So yeah, I'm like, so yeah, I watch a lot of family films, and I'm enjoying it. They're on Netflix, like those Nickelodeon shows, and she's starting to get older. She's 9 now, so she's starting to watch it. Well, let's get back on track though, because we're talking about like non-action related things. So that's usually what happens. But what were we talking about before that?
We were talking about
what were we talking about? Yeah. Okay.
We were talking about how that one studio came out with those 4 films in like the last 4 weeks.
What's your thoughts on the Kickboxer Armageddon Kickstarter campaign?
I'm not gonna lie. It came out of nowhere. My thoughts are like, what the hell happened with that film? Because I've actually enjoyed Kickboxer Retaliation and Kickboxer, what was it, Vengeance?
The first one's called Kickboxer Vengeance. That one was directed by John Stockwell. Dimitri Logothetis produced it. It was actually supposed to be directed by Stephen Chow, but he dropped out. And so they got John Stockwell, who was an actor in his own right and turned to a director. He was in My Science Project, Carrie, and
I love My Science Project. That's a great film.
Yeah, I love that movie too. And that's why that's the first one. I mean, Carrie too. He was his friend in Carrie, Keith Gordon. Yeah, so he directed that, and then Dimitri directed the second one, and the second one's got like a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, the second one I believe is better, but
yes, well, okay, the new Deathstalker has but that's different though. Listen, they were supposed to film Kickboxer Armageddon at the beginning of the year. Like it was announced Scott Adkins is going to be in it. He's going to play the bad guy Caesar. We're going to fight. Everybody got excited, and then nothing happened. It was radio silence, and then all of a sudden now we got a Kickstarter program.
Oh no! They were supposed to film the new Kickboxer film. No, originally it was 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
No. Here's what happened with that. They got burnt out from doing the first two, and they wanted to do different things. They wanted to do the jiu-jitsu, which was based on the comic book that they both created. So they did that. And then, of course, Alan Musi did King of Killers and stuff like this. So they were doing some other stuff. But so, yeah, that's why they put that on the back burner. And then it was back on, and then Scott Adkins was attached to it, and it was supposed to film in April, and then nothing happened. And now
if Scott was attached to it, it would. I don't think it'd have a Kickstarter for one.
He's attached to it. He's still attached to it. He's still on.
Well, I'm just saying, if he's attached to it, some studio's got to be like, we want this, and this would be technically speaking, the 8th Kickboxer film.
Yes. Okay. So, now I did the article for it because as soon as I woke up that morning, and it was before I had to go to work because I work later in the day, and I was like, "What is going on?" So I wrote an article about it, and I added Dimitri Logothetis' mission statement, and he says, "Join me in being a part of the iconic Kickboxer film franchise that ignited the U.S. martial arts film fever alongside Enter the Dragon." Filmmaking has now he says now it's time to conclude Kurt Sloan's story in Kickboxer Armageddon. This is the final chapter. We'll see Kurt pushed to the extreme. I interviewed I interviewed Alan Musi for Kickboxer Retaliation, and we talked about Armageddon and I put this quote in here all the time because we talked about it in our interview. He wants to keep it independent. He doesn't want studio interference. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to raise money so that way they can do it their way and not have some studio come in and put money into it and be like, we want you to do this. They want to keep it. So as a backer, you'll be part of every step of the legendary film's preparation, getting access to storyboards, locations, creative materials, stunt pre-visualization, and visual effects. So they want to keep it independent and they want to do it their own way, which I get. I understand. But now it's like, this movie is never going to get made. It's just like,
sadly, it's because I actually, in the last few years, I've only participated in one Kickstarter, and if you go on my show, it was for a guy I became friends with, Esteban Cervantes, who was starting up a new toy line, which thankfully got funding through the Kickstarter failed, but he was able to get an independent funder. He was able to get other people to help, so he was able to produce the line. So, it's been here next to my desk for a while because I wanted to show you. Here's one of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in a way, it's like futuristic G.I. Joe versus other dimensions. Like the first line is orcs, and the plans are like elves and other fantasy creatures as well. But you're shooting them up with like an M4. And, Kickstarter's not... There's some projects on Kickstarter that I've looked at that get the funding no matter what because the name's attached to them. But, Alan Musi, he's not that big. He's known, but he's not too known.
Yeah, I mean, well, he hasn't done a lot of movies right now. I mean, he's done...
Well, he's more known... He was a stuntman for the longest time.
He's stuntman for Hugh Jackman, everybody that's anybody.
It's like if you ever watch the show Titans, that's on Max. The
he was
first, he was Batman. Yeah. Another thing, like I just think it's got to be cool if we got Alain Mousset and Scott Adkins in a movie fighting each other. We're gonna have two stunt performers.
We did. We were. They were supposed to start filming in April now.
Well, no. What I'm saying is like two stunt performers who were Batman. They were in the Batman costume.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be essentially stunt Batman versus stunt Batman, and you know, I think Alain Mousset needs kind of needs Scott Adkins or an action star like that to be kind of like a mentor, because if it wasn't for Isaac Florentine, we probably wouldn't know who Scott Adkins was.
No, yeah. Well, you can't say that because he might have hooked up with somebody else that might have did something different. You never say never. But yeah, Isaac Florentine definitely put Mr. Atkins on the map. Well, yeah, he put him in Special Forces and he made him boycott.
Yeah, I think it's like for this movie to take off, they do need some bigger names. Like if Isaac Florentine was attached to it to direct, I think it would take off.
Well, Dimitri's directing it. That's not going to change. But yeah, I remember he said that he grew his hair out for this. He did this look, we're going to film it the first time, and then they tabled it. So now it's like, I hope he keeps this look, because I was like, I want to see that in the movie.
Oh, this looks awesome. Like, I actually, for a while, I was like, why the hell is he growing his hair out? Why is he growing the beard out? And he did I think it was in 2018 or 2019 he did Black Belt magazine.
Yeah,
he was on the cover of it. I bought it. I still have it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about how he was doing it for the movie, and that's when I heard about it the first time, and I was excited. Makes me wonder if Christopher Lambert's got to come back as the villain like he did in the first or in the second one.
Well, Scott Adkins is the villain.
Well, no, like how we had Christopher Lambert as like the head villain, and then we had the fighter villain.
Yeah, the mountain. Yeah, we had.
Yeah, the mountain.
And can I just say, can we not use like 7 foot tall battering rams for opponents? Because I want to see, I love the Kickboxer Retaliation. I love the original Jean-Claude Van Damme. It's iconic and it means a lot. But I do love these new movies too. I think they're exciting and the fights are good. And
very much so.
But like his fight with it's just like this guy's like, and he's like, it's a slow.
Yeah,
and of course, he's doing his extreme stuff and everything. But I wanted to fight like with him and somebody like Iko Uwais-esque, where they're both like.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was like, yes, Scott Adkins. Now we're gonna get somebody that's not a mountain. No offense to the actor, but
no.
Now it's like we have to wait and see what happens. And I heard it's not a lot of people have funded it right now. Like they're not because they like 250,000 at least. And any more is gravy. But I don't know where it's at now. I haven't looked at. I guess I could look. Hang on a second.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
Are you? All right, you look it up then. Since you're already doing it, go ahead.
Yeah, because I was listening to another podcast, Insight with Chris Van Vliet, a wrestling podcast, and he was talking with Ronda Rousey, and she was talking about a graphic novel that originally was supposed to be a movie that she was working on. And
that's the one where she's pregnant, right? She's expecting, yeah.
And then she decided, why not just make it a comic book?
You know what? If I saw that in the comic book shop, I would buy it and read it. It looks like
well, it got its funding. It's like made and then some funding. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not good at making predictions or bets, but we have 42 days left in the campaign for Kickboxer Armageddon. They need $250,000. They made just under $9,400 for this project.
Okay. That's weird, though. Okay. Well, all right. Well, I mean, I don't see a lot of promotion going on for this, though. I mean, I put it on my website and put it out there, but none of them shared it. Or I mean, it's like I'm trying.
Yeah, because I'm scrolling through it and there's the Mike Tyson fight from this Retaliation, then there's like literally a picture of Jean-Claude Van Damme from the original with Tong Po. And then you got Alain Mousset standing there with Dave Bautista, who played Tong Po in the remake.
Well, it's just
and then
a bunch
they're like,
of scenes from the first two movies.
and then there's like, oh, here's the trailer for Kickboxer Retaliation. Right under that is, take a more recent look at one of Warner Brothers' more recent movies, Gunner, which I still have to watch. No, they didn't.
No,
kill,
Van Damme did not die. He's alive.
No, he did not. No, he did
don't
not.
think he wants to do another one. That's the problem.
I don't know. I like how they made him more the mentor role.
That was great, and it brought legitimacy to it because you had the original actor and an action icon doing the reboot.
You know, I would love for this new one if they were like kind of bring back an actor from one of the other movies. Get Mark Dacascos to come back to the franchise. That would be great, in my opinion.
Yeah, but his movie didn't even really count. I mean, yeah, it kind of connected it to the David Sloan ones, but
David Sloan is killed in a fight in the beginning of the movie.
It's in the shadow. It's in black.
Oh, yeah.
It's not even the same actor, and it was just kind of like a throwaway thing. Like it felt like they made the movie, then they were like, "Ooh, let's put it in with the Kickboxer movies." It was kind of like an afterthought, like for promotion's sake.
I think part of the reason they didn't have Sasha Mitchell come back wasn't that when he was facing his legal troubles at the time?
He had issues. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that. Yeah, he had some which in his sense, I mean, and they were supposed to do Albert Pune, God rest his soul, was supposed to do another Kickboxer movie with him and Dennis Chan in it. And it sounded cool. It sounded awesome, but it just never transpired. I love the Mark Dacascos one. I love it's really got nothing to do with it except the fact that David Sloan's one of the champions that gets killed. It just felt like they did it like it's kind of like Tekken 2, like the one with King Kintsugi. Like they were like, this isn't a movie, this isn't a Tekken movie, but let's add in Gary Daniels, Brian Fury, and like just add a couple things to it, and
make King Kintsugi. Oh God, I can't even remember his name because I've only seen the movie once.
I've only seen it. I have it on DVD. Funny story. I have it on DVD and Blu-ray because because they were at the Dollar Tree. Like one time, the DVD was okay. So here's what happened. I bought it on DVD first for like, when the Dollar Tree was actually $1. Now it's like nothing's $1 at the Dollar Tree anymore. But I was like, oh, okay. And I had seen the movie already, and I'm like, it's not great, but it's got King Kintsugi in it, and he does fighting. It's got Gary Daniels in it, and he does fighting in it. He's not in it that much. But then I saw it on Blu-ray to get a Dollar Tree for $1.50, and I was like, oh, I'll get it. So I have both. So it's like. I still haven't seen the movie more than once, though. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah. It's like I was disappointed because I'm like, oh, Gary Daniels is in it, and where's the Gary Daniels that we know? Because he doesn't fight in that movie at all.
He did. No, he did. He had a fight scene.
Well, it's been so long.
He does a fight. Like I said, he comes in and he fights King Kintsugi. And then he turns in kind of like steers him in the right path, in the right direction, type of thing going on, and and then he just goes away. It's just like, I would love to talk to Gary about it, but he's got his own thing going. I mean, I did review him for Bring Him Back. What was the movie he just did recently? I did a written interview with him. It was email, but he's doing his spiritual thing now on social media. Which is fine. I'm not judging.
Oh no, it's like
Taken 2 is bad. The first one was I like the first one. I enjoyed
the first one. Was great.
Listen, I don't play video games, so like as a person, I mean, I know Tekken. I seen the anime and the live action movie. It was good, and John Fu was phenomenal in it, and Gary Daniels was badass in it too. I mean, aside from that, like if you're a gamer and you're a Tekken fan, yes, I could see where you would be disappointed in it. But the second one was, it was a shit show. But I like bad movies. And I have both versions. So.
See, like me personally, with me spending so much time with the kids, like I had to find action movies that were mildly kid appropriate. Like their mother didn't even know about Brick Mansions, and I saw it was on. What's that?
Is that your dog?
Yeah, my dog's like right here with the ball.
I was like, well, it sounds like he has his own opinions about Tekken 2. He was like, "Arr." I was like, oh, he doesn't like it either.
But yeah, like I put on Brick Mansions and my daughter is like, Dad, I want to do that. I'm like, you're not doing parkour. I love you, but you could do indoor parkour.
I like Brick Mansions. You know, well, one, because it's got Paul Walker in it, and of course, but I still enjoy it. I mean, it's a total shot-by-shot remake of District 13, but
well, you know, when you have pretty much the script and story from District 13, you have one of the actors from District 13 essentially playing the same character but with a different name and different. Give him, we're gonna change a few elements instead of him going for his sister, his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
So,
well, Wolverine, what made you lower your rating when you've seen it? I'm just curious. Like, you loved it the first time, and now you love it less. It's like, what happened? Like I said, I love it. I love the first Tekken.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a B movie. What are you gonna do? It's got Jafu. It's got great fighters in it, and it's got Kerry Hiroki Tagawa hamming it up. You know, it's just, and the guy from Hawaii Five-0, what's his name? That plays his son. That's a total
Anthony Ian Dale, I believe.
Yes, and he's great in it. So yeah. I like it.
I like Anthony Ian Dale because
he was on Hawaii Five-0. I love that show. I used to watch it.
Oh yeah, Hawaii Five-0, or there was the web series Mortal Kombat Legacy where he played Scorpion.
He did. Yep.
And I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. I love Mortal Kombat, and knowing that they were redoing it and having Jacques played by Michael Jai White, me personally, I was like, wow, I wish they would have gotten more martial artists to be in the movie.
We actually just talked about both Mortal Kombats on Action-FLIX. We talked about the original and then the remake. And we basically just talked about how much we loved the 1994 one and didn't love the newer one. I liked it. Okay, again, it was another movie. I was like, well, the biggest thing we said, it had no soul like the first one did. Like, it was kind of like dry, dead, and like just. I mean, it had the gratuitous violence that the video game had, and some good fighting. And again, Ludi Lin, like again, he was Liu Kang, but he
wasn't the star. He wasn't the star.
Yeah, when he's in that type of role where there's other people around him, I think that's what he's best suited for. And again, no offense to him, I don't want to say that like a bad thing, but I just watched Art of Eight Limbs, and I was just like, listen, when I'm watching an action movie and I start like browsing social media at the same time, then like it's not good. But I gave that one a 2.5. I gave Art of Eight Limbs 2.5. I gave The Lockdown a 3, I think, and I would have given The Lockdown a 3.5 if it had any action at the ending, because I was digging it. And then I was just like, and how they escape, and I was like, I feel cheated. And then Scorpions, I think I gave a 3 also, or a 3.5. And again, that was a little bit of a missed opportunity. Like I said, Cynthia Rothrock bringing her back, and that was like her first big movie in a while. Of course, we know Black Creek's coming out, and that looks phenomenal. I shared the trailer for that one, and she shared it on her page. She shared my article.
Oh, nice.
I was like, yeah, she spelled my name wrong, but hey, it is what it is. She spelled it with a G. But that's okay. That's okay. But yeah, and Caitlin Deschelle, like I said, she rocked. But like the ending to that movie, I have problems with the endings. Again, I'm not going to spoil Lady Scorpions, but it just ends, and you're just like, is there going to be another one, or what did I just watch? So
well, like right now, I'm looking up because I know for a fact you could actually get all 4 in a bundle on, And
I pre-ordered the bundle, and then I canceled it. So, now here's why: if they offer it another time at a lower rate, I'll probably get them, but not for $44.99. That's just nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna pull the trigger on that one. Nope.
Yeah, no, not for $44.99. I'm like, no, because I haven't seen.
If I watch Kung Fu Games and I like it, I might buy that one separately.
Yeah, it's like Lady Scorpions and Kung Fu Games. I haven't seen a trailer for the. So out of the 4, I've only seen one trailer, and that was for. Or I've seen 2 trailers, and only one of them caught my attention. That was the Lockdown, which that's on sale for $9.99 right now.
It is. It is. It is. It is. And like
So,
I said,
yeah,
like it's like Alien Romulus. I love 2/3 of it, and then the last 15
I
minutes.
haven't seen it yet, so I was gonna wait till video.
It's great up until the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, I had a coworker of mine. He went and saw opening weekend, and he said it was absolute shit. So I'm like,
It's not absolute shit.
What?
It's the movie itself. The first 2/3. Listen, it's a pretty damn good Alien movie. It's probably the best movie to go after aliens, with forgetting about the Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection. But it's just the last 15 minutes was Ridley Scott saying, "Hey, Feedy, this is my franchise. Do this." And you can see Feedy Alvarez being like, "Okay." That's what I feel. So.
because
It's just one of things. I just wasn't that enamored with it the second time around. At least it was coherent. Yeah, okay. Listen, I totally respect your opinion. Like I said, but I watched that one a lot. I mean, like I said, I have it on digital and I have it on Blu-ray.
yeah, so
And
do I.
I like Tekken. I like it. I like it. I never did a review for it. I don't think. No, I don't think I ever did a review for it.
I was gonna
A lot of
say
movies
I've
but hey, I talked to Isaac Florentine today. But as a matter of fact, I forgot to mention that when we were talking about. Listen,
you
it was only
lucky
10 minutes. It was a 10
Still
minute
lucky,
10
man.
minute interviews. It's for Hounds of War, and he was great. And I you know me. I got Undisputed in there. I'm like, you know what?
Uh-huh.
Goddammit, I'm only have 10 minutes with you, but I'm gonna talk about Undisputed. And I
Oh,
did.
yeah.
I talked about Undisputed, and I talked about Scott Adkins, and then I went into Hounds of War, and and he was great. And I was like, and I kind of mentioned how I wanted to interview him and talk about his career, and he was for it. Now it's just a matter of just getting to do that.
Well, I was gonna say, going back, it's like including Isaac Florentine. It was like Power Rangers. He directed that, and Ludi Lin was in the. Oh God, I can't even remember what year it came out. The Power Rangers movie that came out of almost a decade ago now.
I didn't watch it. I didn't see it.
Well, he plays Zach the Black Ranger in it, and I thought he. I think he, as long as he's got other actors who can help him out with stuff.
That's what I said. Yes, like Mortal Kombat. Now, Wolverine, did you like the last 15 minutes of Alien Romulus? That's the question. And if you did, why?
Yeah, see, I haven't seen it, so.
I did not tell him Savant was. Listen, I only had 10 minutes with the man. I was trying to make sure I got in enough questions to make. Listen, when you only have 10 minutes with the person, it's hard to make it a good interview. But listen, I'm good at it now. Let me tell you, I make sure I get my money's worth out of it. And sometimes I try to go longer. Like what interview did I do just recently? I think it was Kristana Loken. I was like, you know what? Damn it, I'm gonna keep going until they cut me off. And she was great. And she was like, she loved my Commando poster because we were talking about Schwarzenegger, and she. Yeah, so but because you can see underneath, like they start messaging 1 minute left. I'm like, yeah, I got your 1 minute, and I'm like, it's like
honestly,
no, I didn't get the about. Listen, that's why I want to interview him again. I want to interview him where I get like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and just talk about his career, his start in the martial arts, his start in filmmaking. Get in depth with the Undisputed movies, get in depth with the Ninja movies, and yes, tell him how awesome Zavot was. That's why I want to interview him again, because this was for Hounds of War, and I only was able to get the little snippet in at the beginning, and then you have to talk about the movie you're interviewing for, which is fine. I liked Hounds of War. I just thought that the best action scene was in the beginning, and it kind of a little bit. I mean, Frank Grillo's awesome in it. He just goes on a rampage, and it's Frank Grillo doing Frank Grillo things. But the best action scene was not.
I was gonna say, I'm trying to remember. I think I've seen the Hounds of War trailer. Was that the one with Josh Hutcherson in it?
What's it?
Was Hounds of War the Frank Grillo?
No, that's
Josh
Long Gone Heroes. That actually, funny story. That one comes out. That comes out. He's got not one but two movies coming out next Friday. He's got Hounds of War and Long Gone Heroes, which he's both playing like military guys. So
Mhm.
it's kind of funny that they have both movies coming out. I'm gonna get to see them both. Well, actually, I already saw Hansa War. I'm running my review as we speak. I can't put it out till Monday, and I don't want to jinx it, but I'm interviewing somebody for Long Gone Heroes. It's not Frank Grillo. Like I said, he's never said yes to me yet.
God.
But it is somebody that's in it, and I'm a fan of this person, but I'm not going to jinx it. And
I've looked at what the interviews that I've done because I've either talked or messaged directly with the person or
I do
their
that all the
agent.
time. Yeah, that's how I
Oh
get
no,
up.
like yeah, it's like one of the episodes I did was with on my show was with Kung Lee, and
Oh.
I
wish I would have interviewed that guy before he snapped. It's like Jesus Christ. Oh boy.
But yeah, I just messaged him on Instagram and he answered right away. And
no offense, but did he sound like? Because what was going on there? I mean, oh my God! Like I went on his Instagram and I was just like, wow, I need to like stop reading.
I was gonna say some of that. It's like I don't
Yes,
want to
John
offend
McTiernan
anybody. I don't want anybody to or him to turn around and yell at me if I say anything bad, which I don't want to say it. But like
does he talk about like his fighting and like his career in mixed martial arts, and then no, he doesn't talk about it anymore.
No,
yeah,
no, he briefly mentions it. I asked him why he gave up acting, and he was like, "Oh, didn't want to sell my soul to Hollywood. I wanted to pick the roles that I want to pick and do what I wanted to do, but they weren't the ones that were coming to me. So that's basically why he gave it up. Was he just
I
didn't want to
enjoyed
sell.
the movie. I'm like Puncture Wounds with Dolph Lundgren. I like that movie. Dragon
Yeah,
Eyes.
I haven't seen Puncture Wounds. Talking about Tekken, he actually was in Tekken as martial law.
Yes. Yeah, he was
And,
only but yeah.
Well, but I had fun watching him, and I enjoyed.
He looked great on screen. Yeah, that's
and Savage Dog. He was awesome in Savage Dog, and
yes, again, he had a bit part in that one too. Had a great fight with Adkins.
Absolutely. And but no, like when I've only had to deal with one agent, and that was with actor Daniel Cudmore, and I told his agent, I was like, if I remember correctly, because this was many years ago now, I was like, okay, I want to talk with him for at least an hour, but I'm going to schedule it for about 2 hours. So if we go over an hour, we go over. If we go under, we go under. But he was like, you know what? That's perfectly fine. Thank you for explaining that. What do you want to talk about? And I just was like, I want to talk about him. I want to talk about his career. I want to talk about like his stunt performance. I love how, Liam O'Donnell was a writing consultant on that for Alien vs. Predator Requiem. And the main reason why he got the consultant credit was because he came up with, I think, the best scene in that goddamn movie. And that's where the Predator is coming out of the water with the two xenomorphs in his hand. And you can see that he's like about to snap their necks with his hands before the Pred-Alien smacks him. But the cool thing is I'm talking to Daniel Cudmore in my show going, hey, yeah, you had a credit for it. Please tell me you're the stunt performer. And the Predator, he was like, yeah, one of my first scenes I had to do was they had me underwater where I come up with the two aliens. So that's actor Daniel Cudmore in the Predator costume. Before the Pred-Alien smacks him and has him fly in the air.
I like AVPR. I'm sorry. It was a guilty pleasure.
I honestly think the movie was a bit, like, color-wise, it was too dark.
It was dark. I get it, but I didn't have a problem with it. I still...
But,
that's like Mile 22. Everybody complained about the action, and they couldn't see what was going on. I saw everything perfectly.
The shaky cam? No. But,
sorry, when I watch it, I've seen it many times, and I follow it just fine.
Still one of my favorite interviews that I've done on my show. Like I contacted the author of a book series who got turned into a TV show, and he was nice enough to get me connected to the people of the network of the show, the producers, and they set up the interview, and they're like, okay, yeah, just have the interview for however long, don't because we set this up, and that's when I got to talk to Casper Van Dien and his wife Ginny Winger, and just lovely people, just absolutely lovely. And
Casper Van Dien made me an honorary roughneck. I'm just gonna say that. Yeah, I know. I get it. Yeah, I know what you're gonna show me. I got it. Yeah.
in frame.
You
Yeah.
got it. Well, I got it on video. So
Oh, okay, you win there.
you want me to bring it up? Here, I'll bring it up right now. I won't bring it up right now. I will in the future, though. I'll just the main
But yeah, it's but some of the interviews, like hearing 10 minutes, I'm like, oh god, I would be horrible. They would cut me off and probably yell at me because I have so many questions for them that
and
probably
it is
wouldn't be
what
very
it is. You just gotta do the best you can with what you got. Like I said, usually when I have a 10-minute interview, I start like I had Mark Singer I did for Agent Recon. Who you watched that interview, I was just gushing. I was like,
I think,
but he was freaking awesome. He was like, I was like, I'm just gonna tell you how much of a fan I am. He's like, thinking, I'm like, can I talk about Beastmaster? And he's like, you lead the way. He's like, I'm here to answer your questions, and I'm like, I got that in there, and of course I talked about Agent Recon. I got him to talk about Chuck Norris, and I talk about Beastmaster.
Yeah. It's still, I'm gonna remember him as nothing but the Beastmaster for me personally.
He's Dar, baby. He's Dar.
But yeah, I was just.
Yeah. Owen Frill, actually. I got to do a shout out to my friend Owen. He was supposed to go away to Scotland and see his family, but he got sick and he had to cancel. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I hope you feel better, buddy. Because, he was supposed to leave today, and then he just posted on his social media that he got sick. So he was trying not to. I guess his brother got sick. They went to the Toronto, the Comic-Con in Toronto. Fan Fest.
Nice.
Yeah, and I guess his brother got the.
Well, while you were doing that, I was looking up
because you get condemned if you say it. But yeah, and then he was trying to quarantine himself, I guess, but I guess it didn't work out. So I'm sorry. I hope he gets to go.
I was gonna say, did he happen to get the the thing that rhymes with panini?
I didn't get a chance to talk about Savant. I wish I could have talked about Savant, but I just didn't have time to talk.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I was just looking up. I gotta check it out. But like, Agent Recon is on Hulu.
Listen, if you go into it with an open mind and just the fact that you're watching Chuck Norris, who's at 84 years young, is shooting aliens with a minigun, and then he's doing karate. I mean, it's not like 1980s Chuck Norris doing karate, but he's still doing karate, and he still looks phenomenal. And he's not in it a lot. He's not even a human. He's the artificial intelligence of the guy that died in the last one. But it's a good time. Like I said,
because I think the original one is on Paramount Plus. So
yeah, I haven't seen I saw Agent Revelations, the one before it, but I did not see the one that was the very first one. I think it's only like $3 on Vudu, so I was gonna check it out.
Wow.
But I interviewed Derek Ting too. He was great, So, and Randy Couture, I'm still working on that interview. It'll get out.
Oh, that'd be great.
Someday. I mean, I interviewed him for Angels Fallen Warriors of Peace. And I'm just having some issues with it. Yeah, he was in a movie called Space. Yeah, I believe it was called Space Zone. Yeah, Dead Space. Dead Space? He was in Dead Space. I know he was in a movie called Dead Space.
Well, I gotta say something that you put a trailer on your show. I know we're like way off tangent here, but
trailer. This was only supposed to be like a half-hour trailer reaction, but then you came on, and now it's like,
oh yeah,
I don't know what the frick we're talking about anymore.
But I love the Has Fallen franchise, and I'm liking that they got the show Paris Has Fallen coming out.
I'm not excited about that one.
If they would have said like Gerard Butler, I would have been like, what the hell's he doing in Paris? They kind of, with the last one, kind of did like a nice little bow around his character story arc. So,
well, the last one ended fine. He doesn't need to do another one if you think.
Oh yeah, he doesn't need it.
Because he hooked up with his dad. His family's fine. He's in a good place. He's the director of the Secret Service. So it's like, you know, you technically he was in Dead Space. Yeah, Dead Space. Yeah, Mark Singer did Dead Space. Oh, Sweet Justice too. I remember Sweet Justice. I love that movie too. Yes. Oh my God, so many good movies. Yeah, Dead Space. It was called Dead Space. He did. Yep. And that's on Tubi, I believe. So yeah, I'll have to check that one out. Wait, what?
Yeah, that's actually how I look up information on certain movies. Like I just went to the Roku app and typed in Agent Recon, and it tells you where it's streaming. So
yeah, there's no. Yeah, it's not coming here, is it? The Paris Has Fallen.
I think if they do, it'll be like. I get the when I saw the trailer, my first thought was, "Oh, Peacock." So,
like I said, I watched the trailer. And I was like, "Yeah, it looks fine. It's just not Gerard Butler, and I'm not interested."
And then I also
I'll watch it, but I'm like, ugh. Yeah, Tubi is it is. Yeah, I mean, if you can find a lot on Tubi, and you do find.
Mm-hmm. And then I also, because I've been paying attention to like you posting trailers on there, and I'm like, I haven't had a chance to react to it, but like Dominique, I saw the trailer for that one. That looks pretty cool.
Oh, I just got an email. They want me to interview her, so I might have to email them back.
Oh, that'd be awesome. But yeah, I'm like, oh wow, because there was times where you were doing a stream and I'd be at work, and little bit like when I wasn't driving, I'd have it playing in the background. So I'm like, or waiting for my kids at daycare when they were going to get daycare, waiting for the bus to drop off one of my kids. I was like, okay, I'm gonna see what John's talking about.
All right, so I'm gonna cut this one because like we're on a minute 52. So I'm gonna end this one. I mean, we could do another one another time and like talk about.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah. So, oh yeah, Danny. Oh my God, Danny Trejo, 7 Cemeteries. Did you see the trailer for that one?
That one I gotta watch.
He resurrects his old posse's dead, and he resurrects them, and they're zombies, and they go after drug lords. And of course, there's Macha McQueen one.
Yeah.
Oh, and Andy Lau does Passenger 57 and High Forces. That's another one I put on there. So that looks kind of cool if you're into Hong Kong. Venom.
I've seen the trailers for Venom Last Dance. I'm like, they looked almost identical. And I'm like, why do
I like the dynamic between him and Venom. I think they look. It's funny, and they work good together. I mean, and Tom Hardy, say what you will about the man. I mean, he's all in. But,
oh yeah, I will say, most recent Tom Hardy movie I watched was The Bike Rider.
Another take on the seven. Listen, it's a take on all kinds of crap. It's a take on Seven Samurai. It's a take on zombie movies. It's a Danny Trejo, who's like
Magnificent Seven, probably
like now, isn't he? And he's still kicking ass.
Oh yeah,
it looks great. I'm gonna watch it. I think I got offered an interview. Well, I mean, they said he's available for interviews, so we'll see what happens. But I'd love to interview him too. Oh, so funny. Yes.
But yeah.
You didn't know that, Tyler? You didn't know he passed away? Yeah, it was a couple days ago. He did.
Yeah,
organ failure.
I was sad because I'm like, oh man, he was in the original Karate Kid, and
Dutch man, points or no points, you're dead meat. And then he fights him and he beats him in like 2 seconds. I'm like, he shut him up pretty quick. So yeah.
And I because before I started watching Cobra Kai,
Eddie in Space is happening. I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm sorry. I mean, I would love to see it, but
that'd be awesome. But that would, I think that plane it's like that ship should have launched about 11 years ago.
Yeah, I think that ship has sailed, I believe.
Yeah.
We got 7 Cemeteries coming out with them. So, like, it might not be Machete in Space, but it's got Danny Trejo resurrecting his old posse to take on drug lords. So, hey, doesn't that just scream cult classic down the road? I mean, so, so we'll do, like I said, I don't know what your schedule's like, I figure you would just tell me. I mean, I could.
Oh, yeah, it's like,
so. it is what it is. I mean, I get it. I understand. I mean, I'm fine going. I talk to myself all the time, so it's like when I'm doing this.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I'm okay with it. But but yeah. So what we were talking about originally was Take Cover. I did a trailer reaction for it, and I'm excited for it.
Oh yeah, me too.
They didn't say anything about interviews for that, but let me just say, Scott, it's been a long time since I interviewed you. So I mean, I know you did John Wick. I get it. You know, you're doing all these big movies now, but remember the little people, please.
You know, if I ever get the chance to ever talk to I was gonna say I believe that's the second one in the movie series there, Wolverine, because they were dead in Tombstone, and then I think it was dead again in Tombstone. And
I haven't not seen, and again, nothing against them. I just haven't seen them. I just did not watch.
I've seen the first one.
Anthony Michael Hall in it, doesn't it? Like the one of them does.
Anthony Michael Hall's in the first one, and Jake Busey's in the second.
Okay, well there you go. Anthony Michael Hall and Jake Busey. You can't beat it.
And the first one, well, I think, if I remember correctly, Dina Meyer's in the first one.
Oh, I never say no to Dina Meyer.
Yeah, but if I ever got the chance to ever talk to Scott Adkins, even if it's for 5 minutes, first thing I think, it's like, if he's watching, I'd still would tell him in person. I'd thank him for everything he's done for us, because the man has put his body on the line. And how many movies has he told the story of? I was injured on set, or I just had surgery, or I was recovering from surgery while making this movie.
He actually had to be stunt doubled in this, and he was pissed off because he had had to do a stunt for him because he was injured. One of his legs.
Well, you know, it's because of Dark Knight Rises. He had that knee injury for the longest time, because that's how he injured it originally, was with Dark Knight Rises as Batman. And I think he had surgery, and then he did Universal Soldier Day of Reckoning, and slightly
he was injured during that one, but he was able to do more in Universal Soldier Day of Reckoning, because he was like I was injured doing that. I'm like, you were? I couldn't tell. I'm like, he's like, I wanted to do a lot more of, like, you know, I wanted to do a lot more extreme stuff, and I'm like, yeah. You'll still look good.
More extreme? You did some pretty
like,
extreme stuff in that movie, sir.
It's
that's the first one.
All right, I'm checking it out. All right, like I said, I don't know why I never watched. Listen, there's so many movies. I'm like, you know, you're gonna miss.
Oh yeah, I know. It's ridiculous how many movies there are, and
all right,
especially
so,
like in the action genre.
Let's end it where we're at. Do you like you got? Are you gonna be doing like your podcast anytime soon?
I'm in the works, trying to work with my schedule, because like I said, taking care. I've pretty much almost gone back to being a majority full-time dad, almost, which has been nice, and I'm liking how I got certain. Like tonight, I was supposed to have the kids, but their mom was like, "You just want to take a break and relax tonight because I had a crappy day at work." And I'm like, "All right, cool, yeah." So
let me just say, I love my daughter, and I love every week that I have her, because we do the week on, week off thing, and I hate when I don't have her. They always release these movies on the weeks I have her. It's like every time I go down the line, I'm like, I see the date that this movie's coming out. I'm like, yep. I'm like, I got my daughter. But there were some times, though, I was off on a Friday, and I don't know how that happened. He gave me a Friday off, and I was able to see Alien Romulus the weekend it came out. But yeah,
like I said, today being Friday the 13th, where Jason, if fans, it's like, I know this is action, but I'm gonna sidetrack here. If you guys want to check out a good horror slasher film, it's relatively new, and it first time is on Shudder today, because Friday the 13th they were announcing from Friday September 13th to December 13th, which is the next Friday the 13th we got, is the season of the basically Friday the 13th type style. There's a movie called In a Violent Nature. It's It's basically a Friday the 13th movie from Jason's perspective. I'd say 95% of the movie. The only time you see like the other characters is if the slasher's about to do something to them.
So yeah, when he kills them.
Yeah, when he kills them, and there's one kill that's like really brutal in the movie. Or, you know, he's in the background and basically like they pan the camera around, spinning around, showing the cast of the different actors while they're essentially telling his origin story. So it was unique. I'm not gonna lie, they should have sped him up a little bit, and if they would have cut out like 5 minutes out of the ending, I would have enjoyed it more. So for me personally, that would be like a 3. Okay, but it's like 3 out of 5 I give to In a Violent Nature. Check it out if you guys like slasher films. If you have Shudder, check it out. But yeah, it's like I'm like, okay, I gotta start when I got time. I gotta start watching some action movies and doing what I can so I can get back into the groove of everything, because it's been more or less, Dad, let's watch Mermaid Tales.
What's wrong with that?
Oh no, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just like,
listen, I just watched Chupa yesterday. It was on Netflix. It's about Chupa.
That's
Cabra.
a cute movie.
It's adorable looking.
Oh yeah,
it's like all fuzzy and everything. It's like, so I hear you. I'm right there with you. Oh yeah, Rebel Ridge. Okay, listen. Everybody has done their reviews when that movie came out. I finally saw it this week. I love that movie. Oh my god, such a good movie.
You know, I've been debating.
A lot of people were bitching about it because there's no action really in it until like. There's like one scene and then there's like a lot of tension and then the ending just explodes. But oh my God, Aaron Pierre. I mean, John Boyega was supposed to do it, but I'm glad he dropped out because it would not have been the same movie. And this guy is freaking awesome in it. And he's got presence. He's got swagger. He's just, and Don Johnson is Don Johnson. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like First Blood. A lot of people look, it's like, it kind of is, but it's not. It's not like, no, I mean, this guy gets picked on by corrupt cops, but it's totally different than what happened in First Blood. And and there's a whole lot there, like in First Blood, like Brian Denny, he wasn't corrupt, he was just an asshole that wanted to pick on Sylvester Stallone because he didn't like the way he looked. Like this is a whole corruption thing going on. Like these guys are into some serious bad stuff. So yeah, so it's a little bit like First Blood in that sense, but it's such a good
okay
movie.
So
I didn't do a review for it. I could. I mean, I still haven't seen The Killer on Peacock, and not because I don't want
that's what I was about to ask. Which one would you recommend to watch first, The Killer on Peacock or Rebel Ridge?
I would say Rebel Ridge because I've seen that one.
So,
I mean, okay. I've heard The Killer, like there's those diehards out there be like, oh, this movie shocked John Woo, why did he make this one? He could have made something different. And it's like, shut up. Okay, it's like he did it. All right. But like I heard that it's like John Woo light, like it's good, but it's not like the heroic bloodshed movies of the 80s and 90s that he was doing. And I heard good things about it. So yes, Rebel Ridge for sure. Yes.
All I have to say, people, is I loved Albert Pune's films, and he's gone now. We're not gonna get any more Albert Pune. We still have John Woo.
We do. He's doing a musical next, or his next movie is going to have musical elements. Listen, I'm just reading what I heard from Variety or whatever.
All right, but
whatever. What do you listen?
I'm just saying,
guy's like he's in his twilight years. He wants to try something different. God bless him. But I have to check The Killer out. And actually, I could check The Killer out, and I could do like I don't want to do a comparison like with the original because it's I don't know.
From what I've seen in the trailer, they're essentially two different movies. It's like John Woo who reimagining his own film.
Well, it's similar in the sense that it's a woman instead of a guy, Chow Yun-fat, of course, but nobody can replace Chow Yun-fat.
No, nobody can replace him.
But she does a hit, and the girl goes blind because of it, so she and then Sam Worthington wants him to kill her because he didn't want any survivors, and she doesn't want to, and then the cop, and so it's similar in that respect, but other than that, I heard the ending's great. Like the climactic confrontation is pretty cool.
If we still get like a badass church gunfight,
we do
towards the end of the movie.
It is. That's the finale.
Oh yeah. Okay, I might just have to check that one out before I see Rebel Ridge. Then.
Listen, Rebel Ridge. Oh, it's like, listen, don't go into it expecting a full-blown, full throttle action bonanza. It's not. It's a slow burn, tense, taut, awesome thriller with great performances. His dialogue, Aaron Pierre's dialogue with Don Johnson, when they're talking to each other, it's like a masterclass in like them upstaging each other and like trying not to get the upper hand. And I love that aspect of it. And the ending is just, and then he's like this Marine, right? He wasn't deployed though. But there's a reason why he wasn't deployed, because he's such a badass. He's such a master craftsman at this CQB style of fighting that they kept him in the States to train other guys how to do it. And he's badass. And then when he finally does this stuff, he's just making these guys look stupid. And it's some of the best, most intricate, most creative action design that I've seen in a long time. And the ending, and again, and people are mad because like there's no killing. Like he's not killing the guys. They're cops, even though they're corrupt. He's not going to kill any. He's not like killing he's not shooting or killing, or anything. He's just he's maiming and taking them out and stuff like that. And it's just great. I mean, the ending, it's kind of left open, and I didn't like that aspect of it. But the guy that directed it, he does that a lot with his movies. The ending's always open to interpretation. So I mean, it is what it is. The Killer felt well, it is longer, I think, than the original was. So yeah, that's probably why it felt longer. But yeah, I'll finally watch. I mean, like I was gonna watch it, but that week was when I was doing the Big Bad Film Fest, so that I was doing that. And then Alien Romulus, and then I was just like, and I just, it didn't happen. And it's not like I didn't want to watch it, but I just, I forgot about it after a while. And I was like, oh yeah, The Killer. Damn it, I knew I forgot about something. Yeah. Yep. So, all right. So on that note, so your podcast will return eventually when you're done being full-time daddy. I mean, is that what you're telling me?
Basically, yeah. I'm gonna try to. I'm talking with her mom, trying to go. Okay, what's the best time I could try? She's like, oh, during the week when I'm around the kids, or it's like, what about the weekends? You're not supposed to have the kids. You guys are usually over here at my place, so
right. Okay. So I'm gonna cut you off there. So like I said, we'll do another show where we'll do a weekly intel or something where we could just talk about stuff and and just or do more. Like there's a lot of trailers that I haven't done reaction videos to. I mean, this was actually the first one that I was just doing solely for the Scott Adkins one. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So in that case, everybody, thank you again for your support. Like I said, if anybody has any ideas or comments or anything you want to see us do or me talk about, I'll just keep doing my own thing. I don't care. Like, but you got my email, you got the website, drop me a line, same thing with Shane, like at his email, like for his podcast, and take cover October 4th, Scott Adkins. It looks like a good time, and it looks like we're gonna have fun with it. And it looks like signature Scott Adkins doing signature Scott Adkins stuff. So in the meantime, be kind to one another, and like Shane, like he says, he likes to close out by saying, "Be nice until it's time to not be nice," because that's words to live by. And again, we are your ultimate destination for your action fix. And like I said, I'm just doing my own thing. I'm doing it on a budget. I'm doing it when I can, and I'm having fun with it. So I got some interviews coming up, and we got some good stuff coming up in the future. So in the meantime, be safe and have a good one.